Hey, what's it like being a Black Clover fan? It's lonely. Really freaking lonely. Hi everyone, my name is Chris and we're going to talk about Black Clover today. Namely, what it's like to be a Black Clover fan. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, when I first started watching it, I kind of struggled. I had a lot of issues. You might ask yourself, well, why is that, Chris? What was so hard? Well, immediately, most people will tell you that the main character of Asta was really hard to watch because he yelled constantly. And this is me watching the subtitle version. Later when I watched the dub, I found myself actually enjoying Asta a lot more because the yelling was more subdued. And as the show goes on, the voice actor who does Asta in the subtitle version calms down a lot, and it does help the build overall. But just to be completely honest, it was almost gut-wrenching and difficult to watch. But Black Clover is one of those shows that rewards you for your tenacity and your ability to deal with things that you don't really want to. This show is good, but the padding and the pacing are terrible. They literally do a thing where they will show the intro music, then a recap of what you just saw. But when I say recap, I really mean they just show you everything you just saw before, like all of it. Like it's not even like whittled down. They just go right into what you just watched, and it's not even like different. It's just like, hey, it's the same exact scene. Let's watch it again so you get caught up, and then the rest of the content, and then an outro. So really, there's like 15 minutes of show, and like, why did you pad this out so much? And then I remember I'm watching anime. Anime is the land of the pad. They literally do a thing where they make a show last as long as they can. Like, think about Dragon Ball Z, where they had the battle between Goku and Frieza, and it lasted like 15 episodes when it was really a 5-minute fight. That is padding, man, where you're like breathing for the entirety of episodes. That is what they did to us here, but not to the same extent in Black Clover. We get a little bit more story than that, but still, you can tell, you can feel it. It's in the DNA of the show to pad. Then on top of that, it feels like most of the ideas in the show aren't really original. But when people say that, I always say the same thing. How much of shonen is actually original? The fact that you can compare this show to Naruto and My Hero Academia and a million other shows of a character that's a fish out of water that gets thrown into a world that he understands and wishes to be a part of and fights to get equal rights is found throughout the genre. I mean, literally, Deku and Asta have the same struggle of both being born into a world with people with powers and they don't really have powers, and then they get powers in a roundabout way, and then they fight to kind of maintain their status quo of being a part of that world because they don't really think they deserve it at the end of the day. The thing about Asta, though, that I find to be really enduring and really just nice is that he is one of those characters that doesn't give up, but in a almost cliche way. But then you find his motivation is actually coming from a very human place, and it's hard to hate him even though he can be quite obnoxious. Meanwhile, his brother is just the atypical character who just is blessed and lucky that he has what he has, purely due to genetics or just dumb luck. He's like not dumb like Goku, but he just is lucky like Goku. It's like the Vegeta-Goku rivalry. The people who like Vegeta typically feel like you have to work hard for the things that you earn. And people who like Goku tend to think that, you just get lucky in life and that's just is what it is. I'm going to go on the side of the character that's the most valuable. Speaking of valuable, I mean, the show also does a thing where they literally repeat everything. Like, most of the dialogue from Asta can be summed down to, sister marry me, screaming his brother's name, talking about his book, talking about how he doesn't give up, how he's gonna keep trying, and how he wants to be the magician's king. That's mostly his dialogue, and it gets repeated all the time. Like for the first, almost 30 episodes, it feels like a freaking record. If I had to take a shot for every single thing they repeat in the show, I will be wasted by episode 2.
Yeah, it's time for a party. We'll go watch some anime. Sister, marry me.
You think I've never been drunk before, but let's be real, guys. That's the situation we live in. That is the world we're dealing with Black Clover. A world of repetition, a world of padding, a world of characters that almost feel one-dimensional, and yet find themselves to be extremely endearing. I have a hard time hating anyone on this show because all of them have traits that I've seen carried out throughout anime. They all have traits I've seen carried out throughout humanity. And they all have traits that I personally just really relate to. When I said earlier, if you have a problem with Asa's voice, watch the dub. I mean that. The dub brings everything together for me in a way that I didn't think it would. And also later story arcs, things build and get better, and the action gets intensified, and like any other good shonen would. But I think in this one, it earns it because you had to suffer through all of the hardships of almost 30 episodes of it being a little bit rocky, and then now it's finally a really good show. I know that back in the day people called it a pretty awful anime, but now it's good and it's earned its stripes. And I'm not just saying that. They have characters that remind you of other characters that have been through like literal shonen arcs, and their archetypes for that, and that is beautiful in itself. I really do have to recommend that everybody take their time with the show and not judge it out the gate for the first set of episodes. And I'm saying that because, let's be real here, we've endured worse. If you've ever seen any anime that sucked at first and earned its stripes, you've probably seen most of them. And I'm looking at you, Naruto. I'm looking at you, Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super had like 80 episodes of crap before it started to get really good. Anyone that tells you anything otherwise is a freaking liar, or they have faulty memories. Either way, that doesn't take away at all from Black Clover. Again, I mentioned Dragon Ball Super, but like, think about it. You didn't really get into the show until the Goku Black arc, or until the Future Trunks arc. But that took a long freaking time to get there. And you rode that wave all the way down the train until you earned your sweet, sweet spot, which was the Universal Tournament arc. Black Clover is no different. It's just not different. Again, I feel like because the characters are what they are and the setting is what it is, it lends itself to a little bit more originality than people give it credit for. Yes, there are magic anime, but there are very rarely male-focused magic anime. And for me, this is one of the best. And again, the characters take you on a ride you don't expect often from this genre. And even the idea that two boys are brought into a world together and they support one another and they support their own battle and their own rivalry is something very classic about that. Something very beautiful. Something that you don't see in other shows. Most of the time you get your rivals that kind of just pop in because they don't like you. But really, do you get the ones that you were bred with, you were grown with, you see them and they still have respect for you at the end of the day. Normally they're like your bullies, like on My Hero Academia, which a lot of people like to compare this show to because of the Deku and Asta comparison of where they came from. But I don't really like comparing those two shows, and I might do that if you guys ever want me to on a classic anime debate. But I feel like they're so different that one deserves your respect, but the other one deserves your admiration. And for me, the admiration is for Black Clover. But maybe that's just me. Again, as a fan, I found myself having to defend the show to a lot of people. I found myself constantly trying to explain to people that, like, it's good now. It's good now. It was never that bad. You just don't have patience. And ultimately, I found myself, yelling into a blank wall because people walk away by that point when I say it's good. But it's hard. Us fans who don't give up, we're tenacious in our tenacity. And frankly, I want to say, if you're also a fan, let's talk. Let me know why you love the show. If you're not a fan, let me know why you don't love the show. Let me know what you're watching currently, and let's have a conversation. This has been Anime Debate. My name is Chris, and hey, you love what you love, and no one can take that away from you. Don't give up, because ultimately, the only people that fail in life are the people that never try, or the people that never watch Black Clover. But again, I can understand why people don't like it, because again, when I first started watching it, I'm like, oh my god, this kid is yelling a lot. Oh, he's repeating things a lot. And I've seen this before. Like from so many anime. I've seen so many of these tropes. And yet the things they do with the tropes later pay off. So again, it's a testament to your ability to be patient. But maybe you shouldn't have to do that. Maybe it should just be good when it starts. But how many anime are? There's not a lot of anime that is really good from the start. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm just trying to finish the show again. I'll be real. Alright guys, check out my other stuff here, and anime out.